Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Africa Straight Talk. We are Africa's unapologetic podcast that dives deep into the African immigrant experience in a unique and straightforward way. My name is Kaboshi, and we truly appreciate your continued support of our podcast. Joining me today is Kwesi Wilson, a communications studies professor at College of Alameda and the host of the podcast Telling Tall Stories. Nado isn't able to make it to today's episode, but will be back for next month's show. So let's just dive into it. Oh, first of all, how are you doing, Kwesi? It was great to see you on Friday.
Likewise.
So I just want to dive into it.
Mm.
Uh,
Why dive? Why can't you just walk into it? Why dive?
diving is a much better way of, you're just getting yourself wet without having to like dip your toes first. That's the problem with walking. You go slowly. Diving is just like boom, you're in it.
But that's so abrupt, though. You just kind of ease yourself into it.
Nah, I don't feel like easing myself into anything. I just want to
Okay,
get
so
into
next
it.
time I see you by the pool, I'm just pushing you into it.
Yeah, please do.
How you like to enter the
And
pool?
I'll take you down with me.
No. I'll push you from behind. So
Oh, you think I'm not quick enough, huh?
no,
Okay.
you like to. I'm not about being quick enough. You just you like that's how you like to enter. You know, shock and
I'll
all.
chalk and but I don't need you to do it for me. I can do it for myself. But anyway,
I see.
that's
All right.
fine. That's okay.
Let's
Um,
let's dive in then.
let's
Let's
dive
go.
in. Let's dive in.
Hmm.
So Friday, this past week, there was an event, what's it called, Africa
African night.
Night.
African night. African
Africa
night.
Night, yes. Down in San Francisco, and it's hosted by our very own colleague here, Nado.
Too many
And
African stuff.
I
Wait a minute.
know we need
Africa
to change
mix,
it.
Africa night, Africa this, Africa. No,
We
why?
need to be creative.
We are taking control of our narrative. Africa is taking control of its narrative. So
That's the funny thing you say that because that was what was spoken about at the event. If we
right
don't, we are the ones who are supposed to control the narrative, so that
narrative.
someone else doesn't do it for us.
No,
And the
for
African,
so long, we've been spoken for. So this time we start telling the stories from our lens. We have the pen.
absolutely.
We have the ability now. So
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes, absolutely. And it was very exciting to see who were part of the panel um,
mhm,
at the event. The event was celebrating, or they were talking about the Silicon Valley African Film Festival that happens every year,
mhm.
and it showcases films done by Africans. Um, and among the panel was the a young lady from Eritrea,
Ariam,
Ariam,
mhm.
and there was a gentleman
Jesse, Jesse,
also,
Jesse Kuba.
Jesse, yes, who
Mhm.
has made a film that will be aired on Amazon Prime. Um,
Right. I think if I'm not mistaken, is
it is
Aquarius in the moon or moon in
a
Aquarius? Something?
Moon in the Aquarius, I
Moon
think,
in
is what the
Aquarius.
title was, and it's a rom-com movie.
Explain rom-com to those who might not know rom-com.
Rom-com is a romantic
Romantic
comedy.
comedy. Yes.
Yeah, that's what the shortened version is, rom-com.
Right.
And it's a nice warm fuzzy movie that Friday night with you and your significant other, like make some popcorn and just eat and watch and just feel good. It's a feel good movie because there's so much hate happening in this world that we
Mm-hmm.
need something that makes us remember the joys that
Yes.
life has to bring.
So to
So okay.
so to our listeners out there, um, be on the lookout on Amazon Prime for Aquarius in the Moon, Moon in the Aquarius. I
Mhm.
can't remember. So, but it's a romantic
Aquarius is in it. Aquarius is, so just do a
Aquarius
search for
and Moon.
Aquarius.
Search for Aquarius and Moon, and
Yes.
one of them is in the other.
Yes.
so,
Hmm.
so
Hmm.
and Ariam, yes,
Yeah.
talk about another great.
Ariam, another great filmmaker. They were showed a little clip of um, her film, which was beautifully done.
Is that was the title? She's not doing good.
She's not doing good. She's not doing well, or she's doing
She's not
well, or
doing well.
something.
She's doing well. She's doing
She's
well. Yeah.
doing she's doing well, and really beautifully made. Very simple,
Mhm.
very poetic. Because Ariam is a poet, a really really good poet,
Mhm.
and just explores the lives the diaspora have.
Not just Africans, but people who come from developing countries
And
and
that's what we realized, right? Yeah, that's what we realized.
you think it's just you, and she was saying it that she thought it was just
Mm,
a retrain, but
mm-hmm.
the more
It's
people watch
not.
it, the more people identify themselves in the narrative.
Mm-hmm.
Send me money, send me whatever. You're outside, you're doing well,
Yeah,
and you're
yeah,
really not. You know,
yeah.
uh,
And the sad part was nobody's asking how are you doing.
no, nobody cares
Nobody
about.
asks. Yeah, it's
And
just that it's my
you know,
problems come first, and that's what I want taken care of, and that's
uh,
it. I don't care
this
about
I
you.
will talk more about this when we
Mm.
talk about my trip this summer. But
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
people come to you only caring about themselves,
Themselves. Yes. Mm-hmm.
and
Absolutely.
there's no they have no compunction for how you're doing. They don't care, and you constantly have to navigate just the pressure of people just wanting to take from you.
Mm-hmm.
And the funny part is you then have to you sometimes feel like when you say no, you sometimes feel like, am I the bad person, am I being mean, you know
Mm-hmm.
but you can't give to everybody. And this take mentality, it was a very well done movie though.
It was. It was very poignant and powerful.
And just to
Um.
give you
Mm-hmm.
a shameless plug, I will be interviewing her for my Talent Tour stories.
Oh.
Yes, and so
Mm-hmm.
she'll be coming out by October.
Okay.
October
Okay.
20.
That's great. Today we're gonna deviate just a little bit and talk about something that you and I, Kwesi, have both experienced. In the past, you went to Ghana for what, 3 months? That's a really long time. I commend you for that.
Mhm.
Um, and I took a trip to Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. It's an East African country. Um,
And we commend you for that.
I was just there for 2 weeks, just 2 weeks.
It's
I was not.
commendable. We know what's commendable? To be
What?
really close to Kenya and not go to your homeland. I
Well,
cannot
you know what?
go
You know
next
what?
to Ghana and know Ghana is right here.
You know what? It's a.
We'll talk about that.
We'll talk about that. I'm so glad that you're bringing that up because everyone I told I was going to Tanzania, they were like, "Are you going to Kenya? Are you going to?" I'm like, "No, I wish I could, but I can't."
Yes,
But yeah, we are going to talk about that. Why don't we just talk about it now?
you're a big baller. You could have gone. You didn't want.
You know what? I'm a big baller.
You didn't want the big ball.
Okay, I am a big baller, but
Uh, let your
just
family, let the people back home hear that you're big ball. Now you'll be doing well. Okay, you'll be like, okay, she's
now,
doing well.
right? But you know what? Now that we're talking about it, let's just dive into it. Now that the theme of this show is diving in,
Mhm,
head first. I could have gone, but I couldn't because, as any person who's traveled to Africa and has thought about traveling from one African country to another knows how very expensive it is,
mhm,
just to go a short trip by air.
mhm,
Um, so that is the reason why I wish I could, but I couldn't have gone to Nairobi. The other thing is infrastructure. Air is the fastest way to get from one country to another. There are many other ways to get to whichever African country you want to go to. There's train and there's road, but travel, it's a really long journey. From Dar es Salaam to Nairobi is what, like a 12-hour journey. It's very far.
Mm-hmm.
and that
Not
takes
to
a
mention the
day,
borders. Not to mention the borders.
and that takes a long, long time, and it's just far. Train, I'm not sure about the train from Dar es Salaam to Nairobi. So and if there was, and if it was fast enough, I mean, I would have absolutely used it, and I would have absolutely taken it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the reason why. But Dar es Salaam was fantastic. It's so cheap.
Mm-hmm.
It's affordable, and my trip was just one where I was doing absolutely nothing. I did not want to go many places. I just wanted to lounge, and get back to my usual self, because I was, exhausted. If you know how America is, it just runs you to the ground. So I just wanted to release, decompress, and ready myself for what the future is going to bring for me moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
But Dar es Salaam was really nice. I even went to Zanzibar. Um,
What do they speak? They speak
they speak
Swahili?
Swahili for the most part. I'm very glad that the little Swahili I know carried me a long way.
They don't speak English at all?
Very little. Very, when we went on the tours, they did speak some English. We did ask them, you can mix it, because, our Swahili is not
So
as.
I'm talking about somebody who doesn't speak Swahili at all. How
They do have English speakers there. They
okay.
Yes. Yeah, because I did see, so on some of the tours that we went, we did
Mm-hmm.
see tour guides that spoke various languages: German, French,
Oh, okay.
English, Arabic. So they do have people who do speak other languages. So you're not going to miss out for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How was your trip to Ghana? 3 months. Oh my God.
Yeah, triple Ghana was expensive. Let's put it that way. I
Oh
mean,
God.
change rates. I left here going to Ghana and I planned my trip was
Hmm.
com- drastically changed. So it was $1 to 16 cities when I was
Uh-huh.
going.
Yeah.
Ghana somehow the new administration backed up the city
Hmm.
to strengthen the city, right? Which
Yeah.
technically is good for people who live there, but people like me visiting or people
Mm-hmm.
um, who had imported stuff from outside, they
Yeah.
were at a disadvantage. So it went down, dropped from 16 cities to 10 cities a dollar.
Oh
So
wow. Mm-hmm.
suddenly everything, my dollar's strength, the strength of my dollar is gone down.
It's gone. Yeah.
Yeah, and so for me, it became an expensive trip. I understand it from the Ghanaian perspective. If you're
Mm-hmm.
now about to import stuff, that was a good time to do that.
Yeah.
It's since gone up to 12.4
Okay.
right now to a
Mm-hmm.
dollar. But
Okay.
3 months was great, was relaxing, just chilling at the beach. Um, but I couldn't relax in peace. When you're relaxed,
Why?
the he's doing good. Came, I had what you call it, a
Uh-huh.
problem. He's doing good.
He's
You know,
doing well.
yeah, everybody
Uh-huh.
thought I'm doing good. Uh,
Uh-huh.
so then, like we were saying, people think about themselves when they ask you for money, right?
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
thing is, there are people who need it, and then there are people who just want it.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And you can tell who needs it. The number of people who need it is just more than enough, right? It's
Yeah.
overwhelming. Then you add on top the people who know that you're in town and they feel like they will not be able to sleep if they don't get something from you. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So they
Mm-hmm.
also tag on. And so you could be somewhere and then the phone calls and the text messages are coming in. You see someone in town, that's an expense. You say
Mm.
hi to someone, that's an expense. Um, you try to avoid and stay home, they call you.
Yep.
And every day money is leaving your pocket. And
Mm-hmm.
what they don't keep in mind is that for every one request that comes, they ask, right? You've received about 10 already in a day
Yeah.
from
Uh-huh.
10 different people. And so if you keep giving like $20 to five people, that's
Mm.
$100.
Yep.
So
Mm-hmm.
imagine going through that every day for 3 months.
So why are you? I mean, well, I've been talking when I talk to some people about, especially those in the diaspora, who say complain about the same thing. They're like, these people are just coming to ask for money.
Mm-hmm.
um why don't you enact something and say, hey, if you do something for me, I will pay you, so that it's a transaction. It's not just you giving money, but you're giving money for a reason or for something.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to use my laundry. Yeah, could you come do my laundry for me in exchange for that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, I
Right.
work for my money, so
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
you want to get the money from me, you have to also earn it. You
Mm-hmm.
don't sit there and feel entitled to it.
Entitled to it, exactly.
Yes,
Yeah.
people
So
who go
yeah,
ahead.
you're right. Because you are, quote unquote, from the outside looking in, you are doing well, you're doing great. um and it's something, what is so surprising is it happens everywhere. Like, I in college, there was this girl from Australia. She was
Hmm.
Chinese, but she grew up in
College here
Australia.
or
Yeah,
college in?
college
Mhm.
here. She grew up in Australia, and she told me that every time she goes back to China to visit relatives, it's the same thing that happens.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, you got out of the country, you went to Australia. Australia is also
She
another.
is doing well.
She is doing well. And I'm like, wait, really? China? That's what happens? And she's like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And for a while, she stopped going
I
home.
think Trevor Noah
Hmm.
gave it a name. He called it the black tax.
The black tax, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
so if you happen to be the only one in your family that went to school,
Hmm.
then
Mm-hmm.
everybody depends on you. You're doing well.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you happen to be the one that left the country to come to US,
You're
I don't
doing
know if
well.
you know little George, right? Um, George, this is from Kenya. He passed away, but
George.
his
George
village,
who?
George, George Mora.
No, I don't know him. Do I know him? I don't think I know him.
George was, I believe, Eddie knows the story better than I do because Eddie was
Mm.
close to him. But we all went to junior college together.
Mm-hmm.
George, his village people contributed for him to come to US to come to school,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and he came. And the pressures from back home, especially when he graduated and stuff, there's just so much
Yeah.
from his people back home that it got
Mm-hmm.
to a point he became alcoholic,
Oh,
and
wow.
eventually alcohol killed him.
Oh, no.
Yeah, eventually it has a sad story, and I think even when I'm talking to the filmmakers, some of these things, the
Mm.
pressure from back home, and
Yeah.
the you can't go forward, and everybody's pulling you back,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you know, and George had a hard time. He had a hard time. He got a DUI. DUI led to him losing his job. Losing his job
Yeah.
led to him being put in a halfway home because of a nasty accident he had from the
Yeah.
DUI. And so he didn't have his job. He didn't have anything. Was in a halfway home, and always drinking, hiding and drinking. And when people are
Yeah.
like that, it's depression. It has to do with emotional and the stress of the pressure that he had
Yeah.
on him.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That ended up killing him.
Hmm.
Which kind of now is over. Now what are you going to do? Now you guys
Yep.
don't have any money coming in.
Hmm.
It's just now you have to figure out life without him.
Without him. Yep. Yeah.
It's just the stress.
Yeah.
And the thing that can also be annoying is if you come from a world okay family, but nobody did anything with their lives. So now
Exactly.
you, the one who worked hard to get yourself somewhere, now you have to bear the burden of taking care of your parents alone or taking
Yep.
care of other siblings and their problems. I get calls sometimes. Um, my cousins or so will call me up. Oh, yeah, my wife is about to have a baby, and can you help with the outdooring, the
Mm-hmm.
festivities? And I'm thinking to myself, why are you privatizing the enjoyment and socializing the cost? When
Exactly.
You
Mm-hmm.
were laying down with your wife. You didn't give me a call.
Yeah, you were not
You
part
didn't
of
call
that
me
plan.
and say, hey, my wife is here. Let's come sleep with my wife and enjoy the what you call it of you know the benefits of my marriage.
I know. Yeah, it's tough living in this world, and living here, and also having obligations that you didn't ask for. But your trip to Ghana happens every year around
Mm-hmm.
the same time, and it's not just you who goes. You're not just taking 3 months off to go and sit by the beach and become, like the one that hands out money, chopping money for people.
Mm-hmm.
Right. You also do a pilgrimage for African Americans here in America who want to go to Ghana and see where their ancestors left the homeland for America, um, without their consent, right?
Yes.
So talk a little bit about that. What led you to start doing that trip? And how many years have you done it?
So, I teach at College of Alameda,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
and one time I usually go home in the summertime,
Mm-hmm.
2015. I go home. I used to go home every 4 years since I came in '95. 2015, I just started teaching at College of Alameda,
Mm-hmm.
and I went home and they called me to come give a talk the following year. And I was
Uh-huh.
like, oh, I could contribute to the Ghanaian economy and give back to Ghana in some way, shape, or form, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so then I decided to go home every year. So around 2018, every summer when school is out, I go, I pay for myself to go. And then
Mm.
2018, I saw an email went around, campus-wide email saying that we have a study abroad program and the list of countries that we're taking students were provided, and Ghana was one of them. And I was like, oh,
Mm.
snap. Now I could go to Ghana for free. So I inquired about how to get students to Ghana for a study
Mm-hmm.
abroad program. And we started that. In 2018, we took students to Ghana,
Mm-hmm.
30 students strong. 2019, we did the same. On both occasions, the students had some students, not all of them, behavioral problems that caused us to have to write incident reports, being caught with marijuana possession or run away and
Oh.
had ulterior motives, those sort of things, behavioral stuff. It's not all of them, but one or two
Mm.
that
Yeah.
mean in some instances we couldn't move to the next place. Say, for
Mm-hmm.
instance, we were moving from one part of the country to the other. We checked out at our hotel we were supposed to go, and one
Yeah.
student can be found. We can find them.
Oh,
Why?
wow.
Because they met somebody at the beach and took off with them, right? And so,
Really? Oh my God.
yes, so then we have
Uh-huh.
this situation that we have to deal with, and we can't, you're sort of not supposed to be a babysitter, but you're babysitting, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And I didn't like that position. So I decided that I was going to take people who I didn't have to be responsible for and people
Mm.
who are professionals who want to explore Ghana for themselves as a
Mm-hmm.
business, you know. And
Mm.
around that time, 2019, Ghana launched this year of return and encouraging African Americans to come and explore their heritage in Ghana, which dovetails with the 1619
Yeah.
first ship that came to US in Jamestown. So 2019 was 400 years to the date. And so that campaign was amplified by Bozoma and then Boris Kujo. Bozoma, so she's the marketing guru. So she marketed the year of return, right? And she
Mm.
enlisted Boris Kujo, and then they took a whole bunch of celebrities to Ghana. Now, when African Americans started seeing celebrities, Dave Chappelle, such and such, African Americans wanted to go too. This really beginning to see Africa as a tourist destination became a thing, right? A thing that other African countries are now beginning to jump in. Oh, we could also give you citizenship. Visit Rwanda or visit Angola or visit other places.
Yeah.
Tourism is $1 billion industry, and
Mm-hmm.
Africa is a very small portion of it. And in
Yeah.
the words of this artist, Fuse ODG, Um, his album now is called, his newest album is The Spirit of the New Africa, right? His argument is that because of the Tarzanification of Africa, the negative image,
Yeah.
people don't consider Africa as a tourist, the African countries as any tourist destination. In fact, if they do, they only want to go interact with animals. They don't want
Yep.
to interact with the humans, right?
That's true.
So
Hmm.
when they come to Kenya, the human beings they see in Kenya, they are only instruments to get to the animals. Oh,
Yes.
hey, this is it. Can you take me to the safari? And because of that, there's billions of money that is not transferred to the continent because it's not a destination of choice. People would rather go to Europe, Mexico, some other place other than Africa.
You are listening to Africa Straight Talk, your go-to place for African immigrant experience.
So I wanted to really drive home that you can have all the experiences you have in all these places, you can have that in Africa. So not only do I take people for the pilgrimage of getting to know your history, we do, it's trifurcated into three tours: eco tour, heritage tour, and cultural tour,
Oh,
right?
okay. Mm-hmm.
So the eco tour, we're going into nature, we're doing hiking, we're going to waterfalls, we're doing boat ride, we're visiting like villages that are on stilts and stuff, right? And then the cultural tour, we do like the naming ceremony, so you connect with the culture, doing the drumming and dancing, all that stuff, learning how to drum, all that stuff is part of the cultural tour. And
Mm-hmm.
then the heritage tour is when we get to the slave castles and the slave markets to really understand the history, where you came from, the heritage. And so my tour has been all about that. And I started 20, it was supposed to be 2020, but the pandemic happened, so I didn't
Mm-hmm.
go to 2022. And then that took people 2023, 2024, and now 2025, and I'm now recruiting for my 2026 group.
So why do you keep doing it? Is it different every time? Is it the same every time? Like what makes you keep doing this 3 years on?
um for me, more than anything else, I'm in communication with some of the people that I've taken have been repeat visitors, right? They've gone back again.
Oh, uh-huh, uh-huh. That's
Lady
good.
that went 2023 called me up. I want to go back again. So she's going with me next year. When did she go? She went last year. You know.
Mm,
So I've had repeat visitors. I had people who, somebody who went with me this year, and she wants to take her own people with her. You know. Um,
mm,
I've taken some of our faculty members with me,
mm-hmm,
and when they come and do presentations to and encourage other people to go. It's just the way it opens their eyes. Is one thing to
mm,
know in history books what your people went through.
mm-hmm,
It's another thing to have your feet in the same river they had their last bath before they came.
mm, mm-hmm,
It's another thing to go to the slave castle and then be able to touch the sweat and the blood and the bodily fluids that have caked into the ground, right?
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Almost feels like carpet. To touch that and to know and to be in there, see how dark it was in there, to walk through the conditions they went through, to
mm,
follow the trail, the path where the market where they sold them and everything else, you know, and to come back and know that you come from strength.
mm,
And so for me, what makes me uh, carry on
mm-hmm,
is knowing that I am giving people a sense of self. You know,
mm. Yeah,
uh, two quotes that I have:
yeah.
for all our studies, history is best qualified to reward our research. That was Malcolm X. And
Mm-hmm,
then the other one will be for Marcus Garvey. People without the history and knowledge of their origin and background are like trees without root. You know, if you're a
yeah.
tree and you have no root, it's very easy for you to be blown away by the winds or at the mercy of you know the elements. And so
Mm-hmm.
when you come back, and I've seen this in everyone that's gone on the trip with me and everyone that's gone to Ghana, they feel rooted as a person, as an individual. I'm not just an African American, but I'm part of the global majority. I'm not a minority. Here you think of yourself as a minority and you navigate this world as a minority,
Mm-hmm.
and you're not the center of the narrative here. And then when you go back to a place like that, you're the center, you're with the majority, and you don't have to be afraid in entering certain spaces. You have
Yeah.
black privilege. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And for many African Americans, they haven't experienced that before. And I am always more than happy to
Yeah.
be instrumental in giving them that experience.
Yeah, you do that is some heavy lifting.
It
That is
is.
some
It
heavy,
comes
heavy
with its
lifting.
challenges. Trust me. When you're on the ground, and
Yeah.
people are going out, people are not waking up on time. There's always that and group dynamics too. Always, sometimes some people don't like each other within the group, conflicts and
Mm-hmm.
stuff, or just the cultural shock, or stuff like um, certain things that are not up to standard, and you realize you're used to certain privileges and certain standards,
Yes. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
there are people there are not meeting those standards and having
So,
to.
so how do you deal with especially that? Because, someone who's lived, and for us it's the same thing. When you come here, you get used to certain things.
Mm,
You know things work the way they're supposed to work here. Lights come on in the house. If they're off, you get a text message telling you they'll be back in 2 hours, and within 2 hours they're back. If they're not, there's an apology. Some of these food, shelter, clothing, utilities are guaranteed
uh,
here. So how do you deal with people who have grown up with some of these privileges and go to Ghana, and they have, you don't know when electricity will come back. You're told this water, don't drink it, carry your own water or boil it. You don't even know if the water is going to come from the tap, even. Crossing the street, something simple as crossing the street is something that you have to teach someone, right? How do you
yes,
deal with some of these privileges? Let's just call them privileges because that's what it is. That the
privilege.
pilgrims get.
So we meet monthly
Mm-hmm.
before we go,
Yeah.
and we address these things with the sole aim of trying to reduce the culture shock, and
Okay.
trying to
Mm-hmm.
reduce certain things that you know how Bay Area weed is legalized in the Bay Area, right?
Yeah.
So there was a time, and I can't cover everything. So we never covered weed, right? Never
Mm.
really came to mind. Ghana is very illegal to smoke weed in Ghana. So we go
Yes.
to a
Mm-hmm.
restaurant, and we're in a village, small village, and we go to a restaurant,
Mm.
and I'm inside the restaurant, and I come outside, and I see two or three of my people. This
Mm.
is a couple of years ago, just standing outside in front of the restaurant, lit up their weed, and they're passing the weed and smoking it like they started in West Oakland.
Oh, really?
And I'm like,
You
and
said
I'm
like they're standing in West Oakland.
just, yeah, because it's legal here, right?
I know,
And
yeah. I'm
they're
saying, I'm
having
saying,
a
I'm
casual
just saying.
conversation. They were having a casual conversation. Oh yeah, and we did this, and it was fun. And then and I walked in, I was like, "Sure. No, you don't get me smoking weed out here. No, 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 put that out, put that out, put that out, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Because cops see
Oh,
you,
yeah.
you're
Uh-huh.
going to have a horrible experience.
Yes.
I don't even know why they got the weed. That's the other part. I don't even.
How did that come into the country, first of all? Yeah,
No,
exactly.
they didn't bring it in the country. They got someone there
Oh,
on the ground to get it for them.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
this is part of the thing. So they meet people on the ground. Oh yeah, they're talking. Oh, where can I get weed? Of course, they're not asking me, right? Um, so these are things that come up, but we can't talk about everything. How to cross the street. I remember there was a time, this is when I used to take students, and there was this student crossing the street and taking his time to cross the street, and there was a car coming, and the driver grazed him with the car, right? And then yelled some insults at him. So he was mad at the driver. But in Ghana, no, the street is for the car. And you walking, you don't have the right of way.
You don't have the right of way, exactly.
You take his time. And the driver got pissed off, honking at him. And he's mad at the driver for honking at him. So the driver turned and swerved the car towards him, and then swipe him to let him know that
Who's the boss?
yeah, who's the boss of the street. And,
Wow.
and this had not come up in conversations before we went on the trip. And there are lots of things that sometimes you cannot predict or you cannot see as a challenge, right? But when you get on the ground and you do this trip over and over again, you learn the lessons, and then you incorporate it in your preparation
Yeah.
topics next trip.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
But I want to talk about what are the effects of this return home and come and see where your people came from. Has been the effects of this? I know you mentioned one, things are very expensive. Um, Although it's good for the Ghana economy, on the reverse side, it's terrible for those, especially those Ghanaians who want to go back home and visit family. It's a little bit pricey for them.
Mhm.
What are other things that have come up or come about from um, this thing of not just you doing the pilgrimages, but a lot of African Americans making their way to Ghana?
I will say a couple of things.
Mm-hmm.
The effects is a mixed bag, right?
Mm-hmm.
So good stuff. Let me say just say this: the trips to tourism to Ghana is a win-win-win for everyone involved, right? The
Yeah.
airline industry get their cuts,
Mm-hmm.
uh,
Yep.
there's demand, and then they raise the prices. The tourism industry gets their cut in Ghana, in employing people. More and more people are getting jobs in tourism. Hospitality business is growing in Ghana. There's a lot of constructions happening now in Ghana as a result of that.
Mm-hmm.
The tourists who are going are getting something priceless in terms of a sense of self. Um, you know, and also people are looking for alternative places to live outside of the United States. So a lot
Mm-hmm.
of African Americans are moving to Ghana.
Mm-hmm.
But there is this two things. One is the danger of situational elitism, and then the
Mm-hmm.
other thing is also gentrification, right?
Mm.
Those are the drawbacks. So, um, situational elitism is when somebody who may have been oppressed in one place, right,
Yeah.
finds themselves in a place where they're considered to be elite because you have more means than the
Yes.
person there. And
Mm-hmm.
there's a tendency, because everyone exalts you and puts you on a pedestal, and there's a tendency to have that get into your head.
Mm-hmm.
And then you start looking at them like peasants. It becomes a vertical relationship where you are the top and they are the bottom. And
Yes. Mm-hmm.
then you have the gentrification happening there, because now everyone is building stuff
Mm-hmm.
and starting business to cater to the American or the foreigner.
Yeah.
And so
Mm-hmm.
the prices are ridiculously high. There's
Mm-hmm.
no economic science behind the pricing, except
Yeah.
for people are just greedy, and then they price things very high because they think foreigners can pay it, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Which is pricing out the locals.
Uh-huh.
Locals cannot afford to live anywhere near any of these places, right? Which
Hmm.
is gentrification.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I had this exchange with an African American who lives in Ghana, and she took offense to the word gentrification. But
Really?
yeah,
Uh-huh.
because
Uh-huh.
she's moved to Ghana and she's doing real estate and she's buying houses and selling houses. I understand her hustle.
Of course,
I
yeah.
understand her hustle. She When you go to Ghana, it's hard. Nobody will give you a job. You have to create your own job. You have
Mm-hmm.
to create own lane.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And she's gone there and then she's employing people, she felt like she's employing people to work for her and everything else.
Mm.
And she's doing all this other stuff. And so she feels like she's giving back to the community, right? And selling
Yes.
to African Americans. And I was like, yeah, well, that's great. There's also a flip side where the houses and stuff are not stuff the locals can afford.
Can
And
afford. Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm.
so the locals are being forced to move out,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And so you're pricing them out.
It's funny how you talked about gentrification and how you had this conversation with this person who's there,
Mm-hmm.
and she actually took it in a negative way.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but and it's the same thing happening here. It's almost as if you don't see what is happening to you here is what you're taking there.
She interacts with the word gentrification as a white thing, and
Mm-hmm.
she didn't want to accept that she is doing just that to the people there because she thinks of herself as she's developing the community, creating jobs, other
Mm-hmm.
stuff. That's what white people will also say that when they're doing that here. Oh, we're bringing jobs to the community. We see the coffee shop, bring this, bring other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you're bringing all of that to the community, but people are moving out because they can't afford to be there. And she is also treated like an elite because she comes in with money and what they do is I've seen even my students talk to the locals like anyhow
Mm-hmm.
because suddenly they find that the locals treat them better, they look up to them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so then, hey, come here, hey, do this for me, and then they're just ordering them around
Yeah.
and not treating them with dignity.
Mm-hmm.
And
And respect. Yes.
yeah, because now you start beginning to think that you're bigger and better than them. You're seeing some of them begging for stuff on the side of the road. You're seeing this, and you're beginning to realize your privilege. You thought you were, you know, downtrodden here, and then
Yeah.
suddenly you
Yeah.
see that you're an elite.
Yeah.
And if
You
you're not
start acting
open
up and acting disrespectful and rude.
to them about that, you have to really
Um,
check your impulse to want to treat them in an undignified manner, even including myself. I also have to check myself sometimes.
yeah, yeah, it happens. It happens. What's funny is I think someone said the oppressed usually look for other people to oppress. Um,
Hmm.
and sometimes that's what happens. That's what happens even in Hawaii. I went to Hawaii early this year, and this our Uber driver was telling us how the locals, the Hawaiians, will oppress because the Hawaiians are oppressed. They are oppressed people. No, even if they are American citizens, they are very much oppressed in their own island, on their own island.
Hmm.
Um, and they look for like the Samoans who come in looking for work, and all the other Pacific Islanders who come in, the Hawaiians oppress them.
I'm not surprised. I'll talk about even Indians and other oppressed people around the world. When they come here, what do? They all find the black person to be beneath them. And,
Exactly.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
you,
Mm-hmm.
that's the situational elitism. You come from a place where you were oppressed, and then you come here, and then all of a sudden you find yourself, oh, well, there's somebody beneath me,
Yeah.
you
And
know,
you oppress them.
oppress them.
Yeah. It's something that we should all be conscious about. Even us here in the diaspora, when we go back
Yes,
to
situational elitism.
visit, there is that situation elitism
Hmm.
that goes on, and we might not be aware of it, but it's there. The people who are on the ground, I mean, the locals see it. And someone can say, well, they're the ones who cause it. No, even if they're the ones who cause it, you need to check yourself.
So let me give credit where credit is due. Isabel Wilkerson, in her book Cast,
Uh-huh.
uh, talking about the caste system in the United States, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
He defined that term, situational elitism, and
Hmm.
nailed it. Uh,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and so she gave me the framework to look at
Yeah.
some of these things and be able to name what is happening. to
Yeah.
let's look at these behaviors when people are behaving, because it's always shocking. How is an oppressed person the oppressor in this situation?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
In that case, in that instance, they don't even see themselves as the
The
oppressor.
oppressors. Yeah.
They don't even see themselves as the oppressor.
Yeah. Yeah.
Many of us, diaspora Africans who are here, when we go back, all of a sudden we get put up on a pedestal, right?
Yeah.
And there's a tendency to want to look down on everyone else because you feel like you're better because now you have more means. You can, move about easier, can afford things, you can, because of these material things,
Yeah.
feel like you are better. And
Mm-hmm.
what you want to do at all times is not verticalize relationship with people, but horizontalize them. And
Mm.
because at the end of the day, you know, when we go down on the ground, we're all horizontal, right?
Yep.
Everything, all the things, you leave that behind.
Mm-hmm.
You leave that behind. You leave all the stuff. At the end of the final analysis, all the things you had, you didn't have them.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you're leaving, you don't take them with you.
That was a nice conversation. Went
It
completely
was.
left from what it is that we want to talk about, but you know what? It is
What else were we supposed to talk about?
tourism. But you know what? It is a form of
It
tourism.
is tourism.
It is tourism. I mean, I liked it. Actually like this topic. Maybe we
Good.
can rehash it again sometime soon. But Kwesi is looking for the next crop of people to go to Ghana 2026. If you're interested in, getting this experience, Kwesi, how do they get in touch with you?
It's very easy.
Hmm.
African, AFRIKAN underscore trumpet underscore tours on IG. They can also reach me at KWESI dot Wilson, WILSON, at gmail.com. Just let me know. Shoot me an email, shoot me an inbox, DM, Instagram. And if on our Instagram, you can see videos from our previous tours. So African Trumpet Tours, there's a underscore in between all the words. Then African is spelled with a K, and you can, DM me over there, and then we'll go from there.
Super. Thank you so much, Kwesi. Almost called you Wilson. So
That's
much,
fine.
Kwesi.
So my name.
I know. It's just odd coming from my mouth. I feel like I'm talking to someone else. Um, yeah, and if you want to do this trip, yeah, reach out to Kwesi, or just email Africa Straight Talk at gmail.com, and we will put you in touch with Kwesi. This has been Africa Straight Talk. I, along with Emmanuel Nadeau, who will be back in our next month's episode, and Kwesi Wilson, truly appreciate your support. Reach out, we'd love to hear your thoughts and keep the conversation going. Find us wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts by searching Africa Straight Talk. And of course, spread the word, tell a friend or 10 about us. Interested in sponsoring our podcast, email us, africastraighttalk@gmail.com. Oh, one more thing. If you also want to be a guest on our show, you can also email us, africastraighttalk@gmail.com. Until next time, be safe, be well, and love one another.